Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new video on the channel, guys. So I have for you guys today, I have my week 11 score predictions now for the championship. So that's pretty mad, to be honest. They were already in week 11. The championship's just flying by this season. But if you've not seen this series before, let me briefly explain how it all goes down. So every week, guys, I give you my championship score predictions for how I think each and every individual match will turn out. FIFA 17 also makes their predictions. But what I'm really interested to know is what you guys have to say. So in the comments, in the description down below, I will leave all the matches that are taking place this weekend, and I want you guys to make your predictions. Then if you do manage to get any of your predictions right, I will include your comment at the start of my next video. But just before we do actually get into my predictions here, guys, I do have a little bit of an announcement to make at the start of the video. So last year for FIFA 16, I did a series on my channel called the Championship Project. Basically, if you've not seen that, what it was basically sort of like a Road to Glory series based around Ultimate Team and the Championship. So I will be starting that again, I believe sometime next week probably, so make sure you do stay tuned for that, as I am really excited to bring that series back. And the next episode of the Preston career mode will also be up fairly soon as well. I've slacked on that a little bit lately, but that next episode will be up soon. But sometime next week, I will be starting the Championship Project once again, so leave a like if you are looking forward to that. So we're going into the first game we have to talk about, guys. We have QPR coming up against Brentford, so a bit of a London derby for this first matchup here. This one's actually being played tonight on Friday night, so make sure you get your predictions in quickly for this one. But this one's a bit of a hard one to predict, really. Both these sides, I believe, are on the same amount of points at this point in time, but in terms of form, I'd say QPR are probably on a little bit better form at this point in time than Brentford are. The reason I say that is because Brentford are yet to win in their last 4 matches, so for that reason I am going to back QPR to win this match, obviously them having the home advantage in this one as well. I'm going to say it's going to finish 2-1 to QPR in this match. Could be a tightly contested match, but FIFA's actually disagree with me for this one. FIFA 17 has said that Brentford are going to win this one 1-0. Our next game we then go into, guys, we have Barnsley coming up against Bristol City. So two sides which I think have been quite similar, really, in many aspects. I'd say that Barnsley are sort of like Bristol City last season, if that makes sense. But going into this match is yet again a quite hard one to predict, really. Both these sides, before their last game, had a bit of a slump in their season with a couple of losses, but since then they have managed to bounce back, both of them winning their previous match. So I'm going to say that these two sides are going to level each other out and finish as a 1-1 draw this one. I'm going to say that it'll be a tough one at Oakwell. If I had to favour one side, I'd probably just about favour Bristol City, where they are currently in the table. But I do fancy Barnsley to get a point from this one, so I'm going to say 1-1. FIFA 17 has said that this one's going to be a goalless draw. The next game we then go into, guys, we have Brighton coming up against Norwich. So this is a massive game at the top of the table at this point in time. And if I was to make this prediction probably 2 weeks ago, I would be backing Norwich to win this match. However, since then, you know, times have changed, I suppose. Norwich, obviously, their last game in the Championship, they lost to my side, Preston North End. Since then, they've also been knocked out of the League Cup as well. So at this point in time, Norwich aren't on the best run of form and are looking a bit predictable at this time as well. A little bit flat, I suppose. And Brighton haven't been putting in, I know the last game they had in the Championship, they didn't have the best performance, but they still managed to grind out and get all 3 points. So I am going to say that Brighton are going to win this one. Despite the attacking quality that both these sides possess, I'm going to predict a low score for this one. I'm going to say that Brighton are going to win this one, but just about by a 1-0 goal margin. FIFA's predicted a very low scorer with a goalless draw. Be interested to know what you guys think of this one, definitely. Our next game we then go into, guys, we have Cardiff coming up against Wigan Athletic. So the big news coming out of this match is that Wigan have recently sacked their manager, Gary Caldwell. So I'd love to get some Wigan fans' opinions in the comments down below as to what you think of that, really. Personally, from how I'm looking at it, obviously it's not been the ideal start, really, but for a newly promoted side and what he's got to deal with, I suppose, I was surprised that you've acted this early on, really, and you were going down a downward spiral. I actually asked you guys in my last video, actually, what do you do, Wigan fans, whether you would change anything, or do you think you'll want to, eventually Caldwell will get it right? But the Wigan board has acted and sacked Gary Caldwell, and, you know, being managerless and with the form that Cardiff are currently in since Neil Warnock has took charge of them, I'm going to back Cardiff for this victory. No surprise in that one, really. I'm going to say that this one's going to be a comfortable 2-0 win to Cardiff. I think that the Wigan players may be a bit, I don't know, it just came as a bit of a shock to me, really, that Caldwell did actually get the sack, but FIFA's actually predicting an upset in this one. FIFA has gone with a Wigan away victory with a 1-0 win, so that'll be a massive result for them, but could I see it? I'm not so sure, really. Our next game we then go into, guys, we have Derby County coming up against Sheffield Wednesday. So at the start of the season, I'd be predicting that at this point, this will be a top of the table clash, but so far this season, it's not really been that, obviously with Derby currently lingering in and around the bottom half of the table at this point in time, and since Steve McLaren has come in, it's a really funny one, really. He's not really had like an instant like surge up the table and an instant reaction out of his players. I feel like there's still a lot of work to be done with this Derby squad throughout the majority of the season, and Sheffield Wednesday have recently looked to pick up their performances, really. Ever since that Huddersfield victory, they've looked very good, I think. However, saying that, Sheffield Wednesday should be scoring a lot more goals than they actually are. They've had a lot of victories this season by just a 1-goal margin, so I think that if they are to get promotion at the end of the season, they are going to have to be a lot more clinical. But with Derby currently struggling to score goals like they are, I'm going to back Sheffield Wednesday for a 2-1 victory in this one. FIFA said that it's going to be a 0-0. To be honest, I could really see that with both these sides not really being as clinical as they could, but I'm going to say 2-1 Wednesday. Our next match we're then going to, guys, we have Fulham coming up against Huddersfield. So Huddersfield at this point in time have looked to bounce back from their recent losses that they had. Obviously, they got a win last week, a 1-0 goal margin that was by, and I do actually fancy them to get a victory in this one as well. I mean, it's a difficult one to gauge with Huddersfield, of course, and David Wagner obviously will want to be carrying on this form and lead their 2 successive defeats behind them. So I'm going to say that Huddersfield are going to win this one. It'll be a tough one going away to Fulham, definitely, but I'm going to say that they're just about going to scrape this one by a 1-0 goal margin. 1-0 Huddersfield, I'm going to say, and fair play to Fulham if they do actually get something from this match, or if they get all 3 points, that'll be a very good result for them, definitely. But FIFA's actually said that this one's going to be another 0-0. Still so many 0-0s with this FIFA. Our next match we're then going to, guys, we have Ipswich Town coming up against Rotherham. So for this season, Ipswich and Rotherham have had not the best season, really, by both of their accounts. They're both wanting to be higher in the table, and obviously Rotherham now under new management, under Kenny Jackett. Let me know in the comments down below what you think of Kenny Jackett so far. Me personally, I think it's a good move for Rotherham. However, I do think that in January, if you are to survive the drop, I think you will need to strengthen the side quite considerably, really. But going into this match, I'm going to back Ipswich for this win, really. Obviously, with Mick McCarthy, there's been quite a bit of discontent around him, but I do actually fancy Ipswich to get this win in this match. I think it could be quite a low-scoring one yet again. I'm going to say this one's going to end as a 1-0 victory to Ipswich. The next game we then go into, guys, we have Leeds United coming up against Burton Albion. So a surprise team this season, without a shadow of that, has been Burton Albion. They've done very well in actually adapting to the Championship and how their players have gone about things. But going away to Leeds, I think it will be a tough match for them, of course. Of course, it's always difficult to go away to Leeds with, you know, the atmosphere they create there. But not only that, it's the form that Leeds United have currently found themselves in, and Gary Monk really seems to be getting a reaction out of his players lately. So for that reason, I'm going to say that Leeds United are going to win this one. I always find it difficult to back against Burton, really, because even in the most unpredictable matches, Burton always seem to be in the match till the very last minute. But I'm going to say it's going to be a close one. I'm going to say Leeds are just about going to edge this one with a 2-1 win over Burton. I wouldn't be surprised if Burton did get anything from this match, though. But FIFA said that Burton will get something from this match in the form of a 0-0 draw. And then our next match we go into, guys, we go up against Preston here, coming up against Newcastle. And I don't know if any of you guys saw this, but in midweek, let's just say Preston didn't have the best results. Yeah, so as you can see there, Preston losing 6-0 to Newcastle midweek, so probably not the best of form to go into this game, but in all fairness to Preston North End, that was our second team. We did make 9 changes for that match. Of course, Newcastle did make changes to their team as well for that one, but you know, going off that performance and how things played, I do actually anticipate this game to be quite a closely contested match. Both these sides are unbeaten in 7 in the league currently, so for that reason, I'm going to say that this one's going to end. I'm going to back Newcastle for this one. As much as it pained me to do it, I just don't see how anyone can stop them at the moment, really. But I'm going to say it's going to be a tight one. I'm going to say Newcastle are going to win this one 2-1, as much as it pains me to do it. FIFA's actually backed Preston to get something from this match with a 2-2 draw. But I couldn't take another 6-0 battering. That would be absolutely humiliating for us. But if we do put out our first team, I think we will be in a shout with getting something, perhaps. But I do fancy Newcastle for it. Going into our next match, then, guys, we have Reading coming up against Nottingham Forest. So for this match, obviously, Nottingham Forest not in their best form this season, of course, and actually in very poor form. They lost last week to Cardiff, a very poor performance from them, and it's their defensive frailties at this point in time which really makes it hard for me to back Forest in any aspect, really, at this point in time. They really do look limp up front as well when they don't have a Sombolonga or Nicholas Bentner in the side, and with their current injury records, it's difficult to gauge where they'll actually be at the end of the season. But I'm going to back Reading for this victory, of course. When you're looking at the form book between both these sides, if Forest gets something from this match, I'd be very impressed, really. But I'm going to say this one's going to end 3-1 to Reading. I can see Reading getting quite a few goals in this match. I can see them controlling the possession for the majority of it. And going up against that Forest back line, I just don't have any confidence in Forest to be able to keep Reading out. So I'm going to say this one's going to end 3-1 to Reading. Thief's actually said that this one's going to end 0-0. If this one finishes 0-0, I'd be very surprised actually, but I do fancy both teams to get a goal, but it's got to be a Reading win, hasn't it? Let me know down below. Then on the next match we're going to go into, guys, we have the evening kickoff on Saturday. We have Blackburn Rovers coming up against Wolves. Now, the big news coming out of Wolves was that actually Walter Zenga has actually been sacked by them, and to me that came as a massive shock, really. I mean, I know that they're not, I think it's like in their last 5 or 6 games, they've really not been in the best of form, but considering how they actually started this season and the way he got them playing, I was really surprised by this actually. And from a new manager to be just installed at the start of the season, you know, coming into it, he had like no time. He was thrown straight into the deep end with his first game at Wolves, and to be sacked in towards the end of October, it's just absolutely astounding to me. Let me know what you think of it in the comments down below, Wolves fans. I'd be very interested to hear from you in this one. But without a manager and with the current run that Wolves are currently on, I'm actually going to back Blackburn to get this victory. I'm going to say that Blackburn are going to win this one with I'm going to say 2-1 to Blackburn in this one, really. I just can't back Wolves with the current form they're in, and being managerless for this match, I don't know where to go from here. But I'd be interested to know as well, Wolves fans, as to who you would like as your next manager if it hasn't already been confirmed by the time you're watching this video. But I'm going to say it's going to end 2-1 to Blackburn. FIFA said that this one's going to end as a goalless draw, but big game at Ewood Park, this one. Then the final game we go into, guys, we have the one being played on Sunday. This is a massive derby taking place between Birmingham and Aston Villa, and I'm actually really looking forward to seeing how this match actually pans out, really. But obviously Aston Villa lately have been under fantastic form with Steve Bruce. He really has seemed to get the best out of these players. I think they could be scoring more goals than they currently are, but I'm not going to take anything away from them because he's had a fantastic reaction out of their players. Birmingham, on the other hand, have been quite a bit... They've been quite stop-start recently, really. They'll win a match, then lose a match, then win a match, then lose a match. It's a really odd one to gauge with Birmingham, really, as to their form. They really don't seem to have any form. They just win a match, then lose a match, but at this point in time. But it's a difficult one to predict, and being a derby, I can see this being quite a cagey one, really. So I'm going to sit on the fence for this one. I'm going to say it's going to end as a 1-1. If any of these sides do get the victory, that would be a massive result for them, because Birmingham are currently just outside the top 6, and obviously Aston Villa are playing catch-up since due to their poor start they've had to this season. But Thief has actually backed an Aston Villa victory in this one. Thief has said that Aston Villa are going to walk away victorious with a 1-0 victory. That would be a massive local derby win, that one. So guys, that will now wrap it up for my Week 11 Championship score predictions, guys. So that's it from me. So let me know in the comments down below, what are your score predictions, and if you do get any of them right, I will include you at the start of my next video, guys. Also as well, let me know what you thought of my predictions this week. But apart from that, guys, that will now wrap it up for this video. So thank you so much for watching. Also as well, thank you so much. We've just hit 2,800 subscribers, which is just mental to me. So just thank you so much for all your continued support, guys. But like I said, that will now wrap it up for this video. So if you have enjoyed, make sure you do leave a like. It is always massively appreciated, guys. As well as that, make sure you do check out all the links in the description down below. As well as that, make sure you follow me on Twitter. I always tweet before I upload a video, therefore you'll never miss a video ever again, guys. But apart from that, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next one. We lose. Let's have a bit of fun till our downfall. My love, if you feel like I do right now, don't say you're on the